Still can't hear anybody, so let me check my settings.
How about now?
Okay, now I can hear Michael.
Rob is muted.
Yes, now that's much better. Thank you.
Yes, much gooder. I'm going crazy trying to figure out why my setup was broken.
No, it's not you. It's my mishaps. So.
All right.
You've been okay, Michael?
Yeah.
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 I saw all the work you've done on the GPS. Getting
More than okay. He's been busy.
What?
More than okay. He's been busy.
Yes.
I just when you think you've gone as deep as you can go into that manual, you wind up going deeper. And still, what I realized as I was falling asleep last night, I go, oh, I forgot. Whenever you change the satellite configuration, it's supposed to be a hardware reset, not a software reset.
Oh.
So
so
I'm doing a cold start, but I should be doing a cold start with a hardware reset rather than a software reset. So I have to add that in the base library, my intermediate library, and then so I was just gonna do that this morning and then push the updates again.
Yeah, looking forward.
Yeah.
And how
did you try it?
No, I didn't try yet. I've been very busy with many other things and preparing for production and changing things but
Right.
it's getting. So I will try maybe later tomorrow.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. What I really love about this the way we have it running now. Hold on a second. This I really like. It's like, oh, sorry, it went off. But if you press the button, the screen here, it goes off screensaver mode. It's so wonderful. I mean, you can drop this in this Geiger counter now in the water, and you can still use it. I like that.
Right.
It's very. I haven't seen any Geiger counter that can do that.
So let me understand, it's good enough just to hit the plastic on the outside and it works?
Oh, you have to push it a little bit. It bends a little bit, but it works.
That's great.
It's great. I mean, I was like, how are we going to do that?
Doesn't the nano work on the water as well?
If you not charging, the nano works on the water too. That's correct. Yes. Yes.
Oh, there is one other Geiger counter that does.
Yes, that's true. The mother, the mother of the Zen. The mother and the daughter both can be in the water.
Yeah. Oh no, I've had my Nano on the outside of the car during a terrible rainstorm, and it just keeps on ticking.
Yeah, if you charge it enough. I mean, if it's
oh yeah.
So, but the Zen can even do without charging. Can be wireless charge.
That's right. With the Qi charger. Yes.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. And the Nano you really have to modify if you want to do it for a long time in the fixed position. Otherwise, you lose your screen after half.
Oh, that's right, because it burns in, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm working with a guy in Italy. He wants to modify his Nano to make it also fixed position. And it's good. He was the first one who bought bGeigieZen. That's Jello's work. Yes, we sold one. That's the beginning. Cool. That's very cool. I thought so too. The honor goes to you because it's amazing work you did. It's very much appreciated. And we can still use it in the Zen, so it's great.
Yeah, the code at least. Not the module, but
no. The module.
That's okay. It was all about the function anyway, so.
That's going to be in Pico, and bGeigieZen Pico. This is a very small version. It's the M5 stack the stamp, and then with a Geiger counter and some other interface to watch the data, but maybe no data. So that is another idea.
Interesting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We can still use SIM code on it, but no display yet.
Yep.
So great. And other issues that Peter came across when building the board, that was the pins, for example, the pins for the 4056. He thought it was for two and double pin. So 2 pins with a 2.54 pitch together. No, it's a little bit wider. That's the problem. So you
Oh, I
have to
see.
make separate pins for that. We have to put it in the manual too. Because the 4056, the pins are not made for 2.54 millimeter. It's a little bit tricky, but it's possible. And Peter had comments about the silk screen. So we have to make some changes on that. Yeah.
Which screen was that?
What?
About which screen did he have comments?
The silk screen, the labeling, for example, the text should be correctly placement, and it should be more clear labeled, like the GPS, and what the pins are for the GPS and what the position is for GPS. I think also Louis mentioned that before, because that was not so clear. I agree with him. So we have to think about how to do that nicely. So you cannot make mistakes anymore. It's now easy to put the GPS on a different site, for example, like Louis had.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
It's more clear, and the instructions need to be clear. That's work in progress, let's say this way. Step by step.
Yeah. The Rob, just when you do a spin of the PCB, I wouldn't mind having a look at it just to make sure that like one last look before it goes off.
Yes, I would love
So-
that. I didn't
yeah,
want to
so
bother
please.
you, but other people.
No, that I've done lots and lots of circuit boards, so so I know what to look for. I've also done a lot of marking of student circuit boards, so that sharpens the eye a bit
Yes.
as well. So
Okay, that would be great, because Joe and me used to do that for the Nano, that I would make it and Joe would completely check it and I have to revise it, and then it goes back and forth. Yeah, that would be great if you could do that.
Yeah, please let me know. So
Yes, sure. You will be busy. But I also want you to look at the power. Did you have time for the power setup to check, Louis?
no, well, for the that AXP 2101.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through the data sheet, and it really, if you completely take away the USB power and the battery power, it does a full hardware reset and resets all the registers to their reset state. So even if you wanted to, let's say, configure for automatic power on without requiring that pulse on the power on, it won't retain it. So I'll try again, and maybe I'm misreading the data sheet, and I'll just try again with just a little breadboard setup, right, with just battery and USB, so I can completely control things. But that it's pretty categoric, that's it's bringing it back to the reset state. So it insists on having some sort of a button, which really is annoying.
Yeah.
So,
but we have a way around it. I mean, with the you press the button from the Zen.
yeah, but then Well, if that's the case, then you don't need the power button or
Exactly. Yes. That's
uh,
what I was thinking. On the version 4 board, there's no switch anymore.
but the thing is that the safe pulse, right? The high voltage supply will still be powered at the same time.
No. Because that comes from the moment the display goes on, it
Yeah.
sets up the power for that. The 3.3 volt is generated only when it's on.
Oh, I see. Okay. So it's the regulator on the core 2 that's providing the power for the safe pulse,
Yes.
if I understand
Yes.
correctly.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. And also for the GPS.
Yes, okay.
So
I think
both
on
work.
the 4.0 board, then the Core 1.0 or like the 2 1.0 and the Core 1 even will still work.
Yeah.
Also with turning it on by the button.
Both will work
Yes.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we still have a lot of Core 1, Core 2 version 1 and
Yep.
Core 2 version 1.1. We have a mix. So we ordered a lot and then said, oops, it doesn't work the board. Save
Okay, well,
use them.
well, in that case, there's no need to do any further investigation because problem solved.
It's nicer if we can get it, but it's also good to understand. I mean, at least one of us
Okay.
understands exactly
Hmm.
what's going on. We can modify it later if we have to. For example, the charging of the USB, I saw it. The chip can even charge 1.6 amp.
Yes.
Yes, I was like, wow, this is good.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure I want to push it, but it does say it's 1 point. I thought it was 1.0, but I don't think I'd want to push it beyond that. It's a tiny little thing. And I'm not sure how much of a ground plane they've got around that to pull the heat away.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it was rated at least at 1.6. I saw somewhere in the documentation and I said, wow, this is nice. And the USB-C, I don't know how they do that. They fix it at 5 volt, or you can get it at 9 volt or 12 or 20. I mean, I don't know on the M5 stack. I have to check that. Because the USB-C, you can push to 20 volt.
Yes, you'd have to send back, but
Yeah.
I don't. I think it just defaults to 5 volts unless it hears some command or some
No,
sort of
it's
status.
you can set that with the resistors on it. There's a CC resistors on it, and
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm not sure if that's fixed in the M5 stack, but according to the schedule I saw, they are fixed. So basically, it always asks for 5 volt, and then it can pull more, something like that.
Okay.
Because on my laptop I can pull 240 amps on an USB-C connector.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have a look.
Okay, that would be nice if you could do that. And I think Jelle just missed that Michael was setting up some last moment changes for his for the it needs a restart. The GPS
Needs a hardware restart.
hardware restart.
As a command to the GPS or
Yeah, so it's actually, they say, it specifically says when Galileo changes, when you disable or enable Galileo, you have to not only do a cold start, you have to do a hardware reset. So
as in
so the way
turn it
that
off on?
no, in the GPS module itself.
Oh,
So
okay.
yes, it does. It resets the software, and then I have code to recover that connection just by doing polling. That's in you can see the code for that. I'm adding that now. But it seems to work fine the way it is. One of the nice things is that they have a lot of protection there. They won't let you put the GNSS configuration in a bad state. The code won't let you do it. The GPS module will not let you do that. So if you try to disable all satellites, for example, it needs at least one major group in there. So if you try to disable them all, it just says, no, you can't do that. So that's where you have to look at the return code. And if you try to enable too many, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And Michael, when I was putting the GPS, this GPS on it, and then I found out I have, sorry, I should enable the blurs. This GPS, it's not,
Yes.
it's a Q. It's not an 880. It doesn't
The
have the
880
compass.
It doesn't have what?
Compass.
Oh, you got to look at you got to look. I posted about that. It does.
It does.
The guy who wrote the video, if you look, the audio in his video says it doesn't have a compass, and then he overlays a message at the bottom says, "Sorry, the
I didn't. I only listened.
Yeah. The 880Q does have a compass built in.
I was like, because it's lower. There's a layer missing.
Yeah. It's they somehow were able to sandwich it in there.
Wow, it's much nicer. It's clean, much cleaner. It doesn't have text on it.
Right, and then also in the comments and the YouTube comments on that video, people also said, "Hey, it does have the compass module built in there." I'll believe it when I see it.
Yes,
but
you can measure it. I mean,
yeah. So finally, I have all the parts. I can put that together and then actually query that I2C address and ping that address to make sure it's there. Those are not dummy connections, that's for sure. The ohm meter just shows that.
Okay, that would be great. And if you put the board together, please give comments back about what you want to change before we make the next iteration.
Right. Sounds good.
Jelle also has an intention to finish the board, or
to finish the board.
Yeah, I think you were halfway or not, or you already completed.
I have the 3.0 board.
Oh, that's true. I didn't send you a 3.3 board. Yes, 3.03. I should send you. Also, I should maybe send one to Louis.
Louis is muted.
Yes, you're mute. You're muted. Oh, you're talking to somebody else, it looks like.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can see.
He also has his headphones off. So
yes, we saw you.
Noticed too late. But yeah, I kind of have to rebuild my Zen because of the GPS module.
Yes.
So having a new board like the 3.0.3 or maybe even the 4 would be, or both.
Okay, good.
I don't know.
I can send you probably both of them. And
yeah.
I found
I'll get GPS module.
Okay.
I'll get a GPS module for myself, and that's all I need, I think. I wanted to add one more note on the power button. So for the 3.0.0 board that I have now, I just keep the power on, and I still switch it on with the button. So that also works.
That also works, yes. That's correct.
That's basically the new way to turn it on is by the button. So if you just keep the power on,
that's
or
true.
you can even remove the switch and put a little cable
Jumper,
there.
Yeah,
like
that's true. But for the user, I mean, that's confusing. They have a switch and then you have to switch on. Peter was already in the beginning. He said, it doesn't work. This doesn't work. This is bad design. And he started to roll.
Yeah, I do prefer a hardware switch.
Yes,
but
me too.
Like a button is okay. Well, it works, but
Also,
it's
especially if you have a Geiger counter out in the field and you have clothes on or something, it's kind of impossible to push the button. So if you have a switch, it's on and it's you can go.
Yep.
I prefer a switch, but I think it's not practical in this case.
We can bring it back in a later version if the core supports it. Like
that's true.
The 1.1 doesn't really work with it, but
maybe 1.2 will work. Or
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Or a Zen Plus or something like that. I don't know. We
Well,
don't know yet.
I'm not too sure because the obsolete it looks like the AXP 192 that was in the 1.0 is obsolete, and that's why they
Be careful. Be careful.
what's that?
Maybe Amazon has a lot because they were making the M5 stack the Amazon version, AWS version, and did a lot.
Okay,
So I
at
don't
some
know.
point,
Maybe the company will bring it back even. I mean, knowing Amazon, they will try to supply Amazon with this. There are many people using this small module,
true.
as far as I
true.
have understood.
Yeah.
But you never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it really depends on the chip maker at this point.
Sure. And
Well, there could always
I'm-
be like a new chip, and then that
Yes,
one
that's
decides to have like the option,
know.
like a register you can set that it starts on battery input.
Yeah, it would be really nice if they had that as a battery, either
But
or
don't say
NVRAM.
don't say tonight probably. So if they're listening, they're gonna make it.
Yeah. Well, we'll work with what we have.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do we have other important points we have to talk about, or?
No. Yeah, I don't know. I missed the whole week basically, so
Yeah, sorry to hear that. It was not so nice for you. But now you're better.
yeah,
That's good.
I'm doing better. I'm still a bit like heavy, kind of like tired, but that's okay.
Could you rest?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. This is often
I slept for 3 days,
Oh.
basically. Well, not slept, but like I was
Lay
in bed
down.
for 3 days. So, yeah, like yesterday the headache stopped, and today the fever stopped. So that's good. It's just
Yeah.
annoying that 2 weeks ago I was sick as well with like a flu or something. No.
Well,
Just me in the spring, I guess.
Wow.
You have it every spring, or it's
No, well, so usually there is something in the spring, like I get like a little bit sick, or just the temperature changes. I don't know. It's also in the autumn. There's like in November or something, I usually get sick, but it's only a few days, or like sometimes bad, sometimes not. I don't know. Just random.
magic.
Mm.
Michael still has something to say, or?
oh yeah, so for this whole thing with the right now it's a very crude GPS interface. I mean GNSS configuration interface. I just needed to get something working to just test it out, but so I'm going to be refining that interface. I still want to promote this one out just so you have something to work with, and it's every time you change the configuration, it saves it to flash on the GPS module, and then you can so then you can try it with your Zen. So you could have two Zens side by side with different configurations. What actually I noticed, there was one guy who on the forum who did a great thing. He implemented it where you cold start, you change the configuration, you have modules side by side, you cold start, you reset all of the software, the GPS module, and you try different configurations side by side, and it creates, each one has a timer on how long it takes to go from a cold start to first fix. And that was his metric. It's just it was for drones.
Yeah.
So I said, there's nothing stopping us from doing the same kind of thing.
Sure.
It's a metric that's similar to the metric of how strong a fix you have too. If how fast you can get your fix has to correlate with how strong a fix you can get.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
if you read
depends
through
on,
those, go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, no, it just sounds like a really good idea because then we could have Rob trying it with QZSS
Mhm.
and Yella with Galileo and
Yeah.
GPS or GLONASS. And then here in North America, we could try, I want to see if that SBAS, right? I remember reading that comment that you posted on Slack about, SBAS being of dubious use. So that would be interesting to see where in North America if that if that actually does help. SBAS is basically, it's a geostationary satellite that basically gives an extra time point of reference because the ionospheric distortions are going to be constant because of its position. So or nearly, or more stable
Right.
than a satellite that's just whizzing and getting close to the horizon.
Cool.
So that would be actually a really cool
It
little
will
test
be
bed.
interesting to find.
Yeah.
I think if we can test it and have like good results, we can on this screen where
Yeah.
we now have the compass and then the cold start option. We can have like a calibrate option, and maybe we can, based on the satellite, we can see at that point, like say like, well, you're in this location, we see these kind of satellites. It's best to use these and these, and then we can do like the operation like a cold start, and then do the configurations and then restart.
Like a
Right.
suggestion that it gives a suggestion what setup to use.
Yeah, or auto calibration. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I think auto calibration based on region would be a really good one. If you're,
Right.
it's pretty obvious if you're in the Americas, right? Just because of the longitude, right? Just based on longitude.
Yeah, for example, we can use both, like longitude would be like the main
Yeah.
check,
Right,
but
main determinant because, well, if you're on the edge of the SBAS coverage and you try to use, let's say in Europe, right? You try, that satellite is still visible if you're, if you're in Western Europe, but it's so low on the horizon that it's not going. It's probably going to give you less accuracy because of the ionospheric distortion, right?
Right.
So there's a case where you don't want to use it. So,
right, but you would be in Europe then, so there
yeah.
would be more Galileos around,
Well, no, the Galileos
perhaps.
are global. So
Oh,
GLONASS,
all right. Well,
GPS. Yeah. The only ones that are regional is Beidou, which is mostly China, but obviously
I see.
spills over, and QZSS, which is it's not a geostationary, it's a geosynchronous, and basically it's on a the orbit is inclined, and it describes a figure eight that that covers Japan, but also covers Australia.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. So so again, based on longitude, we can enable or disable.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we can do like an auto setup, and if you want to manual override it, and it can.
Right.
Oh, of course, of course.
Have to have that. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do on the screen like auto calibrate or like auto
Yeah.
setup.
Yes.
And then in like the config server, you can configure it. Maybe.
Yes.
That'd
Yes.
be
Yes.
easier.
That's a very
The
good-
only thing on implementation, it might take a long time to do that level of calibration. We'll see. To experiment with all the different possible configurations you can get versus with a hardware reset, cold start,
Right.
and
Yeah. Because
getting to the point where you can trust that you've seen what you need to see. I do notice that as someone commented, and I added that to one of my posts, was that getting the Galileo satellites, it takes a long time for them to show up after a cold start. So anyway, so read those posts on the forum. That one that it's really my comment section on the that I posted on the forum. Just read through that stuff. It's interesting
Yeah.
stuff, interesting read. It's funny how not every piece of information is available in the documentation, in the document. Some of it's in the forum.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the actual, well, this is how it really works.
Right. And so satellite groups, the satellite systems are broken into 4 major groups and then minor groups that support the major groups. And then the module can support at most 3 major groups, but that's not the whole story because it only supports 2 carrier frequencies, and some of the major groups are in 1 carrier frequency, and the other 2 are in separate carrier frequencies. And
Yeah. Yep.
but like I said, the nice thing about it is that it doesn't let you, the module will not let you put it in a bad state.
I have one question. Can we do an auto calibrate while it's running? So without interrupting the current setup? Or is that impossible?
That would be
No, I think-
impossible because you have,
yeah.
you can only enable certain, groups at one time. You know, you can't dynamically switch.
Yeah.
And like I said, with Galileo, you literally, they said, if you change Galileo, you must do a cold start, hardware reset followed by a cold start.
Yeah.
Oh,
I suspect
or
that-
you can have 2. One is calibrating and another one is 2 GPSs. And one is calibrating and finding out, and if it's there, it pops it over to the other one. I know this may be complex and maybe over engineering.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could
The-
also just put it in the manual that says, if you live in this region, these are the satellites. This is the configuration you should
That's
have.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. The
But then if you
yeah.
travel a lot,
Yeah, that's
Right.
Then yeah.
it should be fine.
Well, then if you're traveling a lot, then you accept that you're going to just use the default, and the default should be working globally. So, so just use the well-known globally available
That's true.
Right.
systems, and then leave it at that.
Right. Which is the default on the device.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then it's one of those cases where, it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So also implies that if we're going to do that, we have to find testers in various regions.
True. But we have 4 now.
Yeah, we have 4. If somebody,
We're a little
I
close
can
together.
I can get
Louis and
another
I-
one in Ukraine. I mean, so
Yeah.
that's another one, good one to have.
we'd need somebody in China.
Sure. I have also a contact in China if we want.
There you go.
So,
I think that's it for the.
We can add like a little option menu to the satellite screen as well, like we have in the settings.
Yeah.
And then we can like have all these options, like these kind of satellites we want, like enable, disable, something like that.
yeah,
Right.
that's a good idea. I think.
Yeah, no, I was suspect the cold start is required to. It's probably downloading new software-defined radio firmware to the actual receiver. So.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it has to be some sort of an SDR, because it's just, doing a conventional radio receiver in that small space. I don't think it's possible, with the coils and all.
No, it's
Yeah.
I'm kind of sure that it's a software defined, but I didn't know they were downloading it.
It could very well be that they're just downloading new firmware to work out those frequencies and that modulation scheme.
There's no documentation about it. What's happening when they have a cold start and what's pulling in and.
I haven't seen anything, and it's probably secret sauce that they want to keep quiet.
Oh, maybe it's time for Michael to hack it.
Yeah, that's right.
He's good in that. Put something between, and then when it's downloading it, pick it up.
Yeah.
Just break out the microscope and go.
All right.
Anyway,
Okay,
no, I think that's it for me.
for me too.
Same.
Yeah,
Me too then.
Okay,
Yep.
so let's meet next week. Next week, Saturday or Sunday? What's best for everybody? We can talk about
I
it.
think Sunday.
Okay,
I'm
Right.
okay with either one, but Sunday works best.
okay, good. Let's do that Sunday then. If something
Right.
comes up, please inform me in the channel.
Right,
Okay.
Excellent.
sounds good.
Okay,
All right.
great.
Thank
Have a
you.
great week,
Have
everybody. Hope you're
Yeah.
have a
feeling better,
nice
Yella.
Easter.
Yes.
Yes, hope you're feeling better. Don't take your computer.
And enjoy the stay with your mother, Jan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, don't
Bye.
take your computer.
No, I won't. I won't.
And you
Yeah.
can bring your son, but not your computer.
I might. I will. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably I will. No,
Okay.
it doesn't work. There's no GPS anymore. I can bring it.
All right. Take care then.
All right.
All right, bye,
Bye
guys.
bye.
Bye bye.